This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, work has started on a new park in downtown Hazleton. We'll get an update next. Good evening and thank you for joining us at FYI. I'm Ken Cara. Thanks for watching on SSPTV and SSPTV.com. Here's your Monday headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The revitalization process continues in downtown Hazleton. Lisa Sugar gets the latest from Krista Schneider, the executive director of the Downtown Hazleton Alliance for Progress.
The city broke ground on their city park here on the former Greco lot. So you can see that construction is underway for phase one, which isn't, the full park construction. Phase one is going to be a new sidewalk on Laurel, new street lights to match those on Broad. And then you can see right now they're cleaning up all the old foundation rubble that was left over when the building came down. So all that's coming out. That'll be refilled, compacted, and seeded. So at least we'll have a nice green space until more funding is available for the actual park development.
What is the overall hope for that piece of property?
A plaza, outdoor, basically to make it a place where the community could gather for outdoor events, festivals, the farmers market. It'll incorporate a fountain, pavement, seating, Christmas. I think the community Christmas tree will be there, and you can have tree lighting ceremonies and so forth. So it's a place for the community.
And I would think the response is very positive because we're seeing the work firsthand. It's showing us that things are really happening.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, there's a lot going on. You can see the parking garage is getting underway or almost complete now. They're painting it. The bridges are just about complete. The Salvation Army's making progress on their facade. We have another facade project starting, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So there's a lot going on.
Yes, there is a lot going on. This Friday marks First Friday in downtown Hazleton. Crystal will join us later in the week with the details. Millions made the trip to Philadelphia in hopes of catching a glimpse of Pope Francis. Lisa Sugar sat down with one man who was in the city of brotherly love yesterday.
Today we're pleased to have back in our studios What's Your Name, our dear friend the preacher, who just last night came back from the city of brotherly love where the Pope was visiting as well. So were you able to get close to the Pope or not so close?
No, I wasn't.
You went with a church group. You went on a bus with a church group from this area.
I did. I went with Good Shepherd, and they combined other churches like Whitehaven and so forth. And no, we weren't privileged to be inside. But at least to be there and experience and be part of that Mass and experience that spirit of brotherly love like I've never seen before in Philadelphia. Maybe it's never been so strong as it was just yesterday and the last few days.
I can only imagine what it was like there because watching it on TV, you got chills just, thinking about what was going on and seeing it. So what was it like for you and how well received were you when people saw you walking through the streets?
Well, like I say, I've actually experienced the Pope a number of times. I was with the Pope when he came to Bethlehem. And I was actually, from here to the camera that time. Oh, wow. Although he was conked out, so no eye contact or hug or anything like that. But for me, it was just to be part of that. And just like everybody else, or a majority of the people there, it's from a distance, but you feel it. You really feel that connection with the Holy Spirit. For me, of course, many times people, especially for the first time, don't know what to think and so forth, or think maybe I'm there as like for a costume or something like that. But there are people that remember, people that I connected, and some great encounters. And this Washington Post interview was a major thing. I'm sure that was a major reason God had me there.
Well, I don't know if people saw that, but I noticed it first of all last night on Facebook that there was an article posted by the Washington Post that they had interviewed you. So what was that like, and how friendly were they to you talking to you?
It was pretty neat. First, the Metro magazine in Philadelphia did an interview, and then this young reporter, he's about 30 years old, Terrence, his name, he was like, "Can I do an interview with you?" And we're like, "Okay, well, sure. Once we finish this one," and he was very polite, very respectful. And he was very impressed that I had done the interview with Hannah Rosin, Now, I don't know what's happened in Hannah since. She was the religion editor of the Washington Post. Now I think she's got some super important reputation or importance or whatever. But anyways, it was extremely good. And I was kind of like, well, are you sure they're even going to put it here, be accepted? He says, yeah, I work for the Washington Post. It's going to be put out there. So lots of people are seeing it.
Just to, I guess, wrap up, what do you think now is the outcome since the Pope has come and gone? Do you think there'll be a renewed religious feeling throughout the country? I mean, I think he touched not only the Catholics, but people of many religions.
And even the world, because we are the most powerful country. And, you know, political leaders were deeply affected. And they weren't even resigned, right, purposely because the Pope had finally come, and Joe Biden had a vice president, had a private interview with him. There are tremendous repercussions. We underestimate what happens with a successor of Peter with the Pope, and especially this one that has charisma like none has ever had that we know of in history. So let's hope for the best, pray, and God willing, there'll be a serious change.
All righty, well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Pope Francis may be back in Rome, but I think the effect of his visit will be felt here long for many years to come.
In your heart.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, if you were at the Bloomsburg Fair today, you may have seen these familiar faces taking the fair by storm. The girls had a blast while taping an upcoming episode at the fair. The Bloomsburg Fair runs through this Saturday, October 3rd. You can get a complete schedule at bloomsburgfair.com. Well, coming up next on FYI, there's some rain coming our way. Check out our local forecast after this break. And later in sports, the Cole Scale, we have some major changes in our high school football rankings. Check out that, plus highlights from Friday's North Schuylkill Marion game.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
It's Monday. Welcome back to Core Fitness. And I'm here with Janine today, and she's going to go over some of the top 5 exercise myths that I get a lot that I'm going to answer.
All right. I love these. Are you ready? So the first one is, I'm thin, I don't need to exercise.
Absolute myth. We call that, and I think that we've talked about it before, but we call it skinny fat. Just because you're thin doesn't mean you don't need to exercise. You need it for your cardiovascular health. You need it for your bone density. There are a million reasons why you should be exercising, and there are no reasons that you should be sitting on your butt doing nothing. Okay?
Right.
If you're sitting, stand. If you're standing, walk. Okay? If you're walking, jog. If you're jogging, run. There's no reason to be sedentary.
All right, so all my skinny fit friends that are, go to McDonald's and have their milkshakes, they still need to work out.
Right.
All right, are you listening? All right, number 2, I can't keep up, too out of shape, and I'm too old.
That's not true. You're never too old. You're never too young. There is not an age span on what you should be doing with fitness. As we had seen in the girls' boot camp, you can start young, and until you're 99 or in the ground, you got to keep going. It keeps you young. And you're never too out of shape. Just because I can do 10 burpees doesn't mean the person next to me should be able to do that. And you should never go into a facility or see a trainer that expects that of you on day one. Everybody's at a different fitness level. If you're going to go into a facility, you want to make sure that you're with a knowledgeable trainer who's going to go at your own pace and help you to advance.
All right, age is a number. Mentally, how old are you? You got to keep your mind strong, and working out helps that. This is another good one. I have no time, and you touched on this on previous segments.
I did. We did the perfect gym bag, so you have time to do it. If you don't want to do it early in the morning, you can do it on your lunch break. You can break it up. It doesn't mean that you have to be in the gym for 60 minutes at a time. You can do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, as long as you accumulate that 60 minutes.
All right, I did 1,000,000 crunches, and I still can't see my abs.
Well, sadly, this one doesn't have much to do with the crunches. Abs depend on diet. 80% of your diet is where your abs come from. Abs are made in the kitchen, not the gym. Okay, so you really, if you want to have that, it is a lot of dedication, and sometimes you won't even achieve it with that. It depends on genetics as well. Some
or
people
one
are
ab.
just
You could just have one ab or a keg.
We don't want a keg. We can go with an 8-pack, but the six-packs are realistic if you work towards it and you're dedicated, but 80% of it's made in the kitchen.
I earned it, I can eat it.
Not true, okay? Just because you worked out for an hour doesn't mean you should go have 5 margaritas, okay? You just have to be really knowledgeable about what you're putting in your face.
All right. They say that exercise is 20, is it 80-20?
80-20.
Okay,
Yep.
80% what you eat, 20% actually
That's it.
the physical workout. All right. Join Christy every week here on FYI on Mondays, and you can go to their Facebook page for updates on classes and what's coming up here in the fall and winter months.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Can you picture a park right here in this spot in downtown Hazleton? I can, and today would have been a great day to chill there. Here's our local weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, scattered showers, 30% chance. That's mainly after 4 a.m. cloudy with a low around 64 degrees. On the extended forecast now, on Tuesday, scattered showers before noon, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between noon and 1 p.m. and then showers are likely and a possible thunderstorm after 1 p.m. It will be cloudy with a high of 71 degrees. Now, because of heavy rainfall expected Tuesday and Tuesday night, there's a hazardous weather outlook for our area with the possibility of isolated flash flooding. So on Tuesday night, showers and a possible thunderstorm, low 58 degrees. Wednesday, showers are likely, cloudy with a high of 62. Wednesday night, 30% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, low 47. On Thursday, the sun comes back out. We'll get up to 60 degrees. On Thursday night, very, very cold. We're down into the low 40s. I guess very cold for right now. It's going to get worse. Friday, a chance of rain, 30% chance, high of 58 degrees. And Friday night, back down into the low 40s, chance of rain, 30%. And now here's your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers on FYI. Pick 2, 62, pick 3, 187, pick 4, 5488, and pick 5, 43175. And lottery numbers on FYI are brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency. Boyer has 2 locations to serve you, one in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue and the other one in Nescopec on Broad Street. You can call Boyer Insurance in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescopec at 570-752-7683. Order in the court. It's time for Law Talk.
Hello and welcome to Law Talk. Today we're going to talk about a very oftentimes tragic but very important subject involving motor vehicle accidents, and in particular victims of motor vehicle accidents who have been victimized by a drunk driver. And Alexis spent 7 years as a prosecutor in the Luzerne County DA's office. She's very familiar with that, and she can bring you all up to date on what needs to be done if that unfortunate event should happen to you or a family member.
As my father mentioned, I did work in the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office for some time. During my time there, I did, for 2 years, head up the Vehicular Homicide Division, and unfortunately in those cases, a lot of times the individuals who were victimized by drunk drivers. So I have a lot of experience on the criminal side as being an advocate for these individuals who were victimized by drunk drivers. Now, in civil practice, I'm able to be an advocate for victims who are involved in drunk driving accidents. And I'm very aware of the fact that not only are these people affected in their work life and their family life, their entire lives have changed from that moment forward. A lot of times there are significant injuries. They can be catastrophic, again, to the work life and to the family life. And I offer the availability to work with law enforcement officers who are doing investigations on behalf of people who were involved in these types of accidents. And it's important to respect the work that they're doing, that being because the investigations that they're conducting certainly can be beneficial to the civil portion of a claim. So if you're involved in a drunk driving accident, give us a call. I'd be happy to sit down with you and speak to you regarding the concerns that you might have, as I'm very aware of the effects that it will have on your life from that moment forward.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
If you felt the ground shaking on Friday night, it was just the high school football Cole Scale rankings getting all shook up down in the mines. Here's our John Eric Poli with a little recap of the big game between North Schuylkill and Marion.
Marion Catholic was looking to win the battle of powers over North Schuylkill, but the Spartans had other plans. North Schuylkill quarterback Bobby Grigas would become the Spartans' all-time leading passer in this game, but early on it's Pat Gownley powering his way into the end zone to jump out to an early 6-0 lead. Grigas would buy a little help from his friends in this game as Richard Zahotic makes a diving grab. Marion Catholic quarterback Ethan Kaczynski found his favorite target in this game in a leaping Aaron D'Angelo for a nice gain. Then with 45 seconds to go in the half, Kaczynski finds D'Angelo again for a 47-yard touchdown pass to give the Colts the lead. However, they wouldn't take that lead into the locker room. Then trailing 12-7 late in the third quarter, the Spartans would put an end to this close game as Grigas finds a wide-open Bobby Wagner as North Schuylkill put Stan DeCosti's 300th win on hold with a 26-7 victory.
As always, thanks, John. So let's head back to the mines and see what all of Friday night's action did to the FYI high school football Cole Scale rankings. Yes, you see, there's nothing on your screen in the Lignite grade, and there's a reason for that. I wanted to prove a point. All of our local teams are kind of hot right now, and everyone has moved up into higher grades. So let's actually take a look at the bituminous grade where these teams are very close to catching fire. Leading the way here, we have Tamaqua area. They've battled all season long, but have taken some tough losses. On Friday night, they lost in overtime to Schuylkill Haven. There should be a few W's coming their way in the next few weeks, and while they are battle tested and ready for matchups later in the season with Blue Mountain, Lehighton, and Marion again later this year. The Hazelton area Cougars have climbed back into the bituminous grade. They led unbeaten Williamsport in the third quarter, but some big plays gave the Millionaires the victory. Adrio Otero had 153 rushing yards for Hazelton area. Shenandoah Valley also made a jump to this grade after getting their first win of the season. They beat Panther Valley. It was a big night for the Blue Devils defense and a chance for these teams to move up. Hazelton area, they will be at Pittston area later or this week. Mono area, they are now in the anthracite grade. They're on fire. They are now 3-1 on the year. Lenny Dolsky had 329 rushing yards in this game. I'm going to give everyone a moment to let that sink in. The Golden Bears, they've won 3 straight, and their reward is a month of October that includes games with North Schuylkill, Blue Mountain, Jim Thorpe, and Marion. Marion, as we told you, they suffered their first loss of the season. They held the top spot in our rankings for the first 3 weeks. However, last year's Kings of the Cole Scale, they are back after 2 straight losses. North Schuylkill has bounced back in a huge way, as you just saw with John's highlights. So another week of high school football is in the books, and we have a new number 1 in our rankings. Nothing new on the FYI Standard Speaker scoreboard. Penn State Hazelton soccer team, they just keep winning. They beat PSU New Kensington over the weekend. Tyler Willey had 2 goals for the local Lions. Both the clubs and the Pirates, they're in the postseason, but they're still in a battle for the top wildcard spot in the National League. Pittsburgh took 2 of 3 from Joe Madden's team over the weekend. Now, according to my watch, it's Ron Marchetti's turn to talk about sports. Here's Trivia Treats.
It ain't over till it's over. His life is over, but his legacy will live on. Hi, everybody. On this final Monday in September, this is Trivia Treats. Unless you live under a rock, you would have to know that Yogi Berra died last week at the age of 90. He was born in 1925 and grew up in a largely Italian neighborhood in St. Louis. Yogi was a mainstay of the most dominating baseball team in history, the New York Yankee team that he played for from the end of World War II until the early 1960s. He was just the 3rd man to win 3 MVP awards, and he played in 14 World Series, 92 games, which is just one of 7 World Series records that Berra owns. Yogi was named to 15 All-Star teams, 1948 through 1962, while having perhaps the greatest career of any catcher in baseball history, which included 10 World Series championships teams. From 1950 through 1956, 7 straight years, Yogi was in the top 4 of the AL MVP voting, winning 3 times. Berra captured the imagination of baseball fans with his malapropisms. It ain't over till it's over has become a rallying cry for anyone trailing in a game. He was stocky, short, with a broad face and a well-publicized penchant for comic books in a natural quality that fans found amusing and endearing. The future ain't what it used to be. When you get to that fork in the road, take it. People don't go there anymore because it's too crowded. Are just a few of many of Yogi's classic lines. A .285 lifetime batting average, 358 home runs, 1,430 RBIs, elected to the Hall of Fame in 1972. The mind of Yogi Berra was a wonderful thing. A radio interviewer once tried to engage in free association. On the air, the announcer said, "I'm here tonight with Yogi Berra, and we're going to play free association. I'm going to mention a name, and Yogi's just going to say the first thing that comes to mind. Okay, Yogi?" "Okay," said Yogi. "All right," said the announcer. "Then here we go then. Mickey Mantle." "What about him?" asked Berra. Lawrence Peter Berra is a legend that will not die. Farewell, Yogi. Till Friday. Stay loose.
Mondays can be rough, but you can end them on a high note. Seafood night at Bottlenecks. Choose from crab, clam, shrimp, and lobster specials, such as their little neck clams in garlic butter, only $1.95 a dozen, or handmade crab cake platter for only $8.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Butler Township Senior Center will be holding a Chinese auction Sunday, October 4th. Doors will open at 1 p.m. The auction starts at 3. Senior Center is located at 411 West Butler Drive in Drums, and the event will feature over 125 baskets, money tree, door prizes, and food will also be available. Our next announcement, the MPB Community Players have announced the cast for their 24th annual fall musical theater production, Meet Me in St. Louis. The show, it's a stage version of the classic 1944 movie starring Judy Garland, will be presented October 16, 17, and 18 at Trinity Lutheran Church, 100 North Church Street in Hazleton. The auditorium is handicap accessible. Tickets are reasonably priced. For info, just call 570-454-0178. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. James D. Bonner Jr. of Beaverbrook. Arrangements will be announced by the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. And Catherine C. Wendell of Hazleton. Funeral is Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonner Funeral Home. Mass is Wednesday at 10 a.m. in St. Gabriel's Church. Friends may call Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the funeral home. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is David Sosar of Hazleton. David, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
I in no way want to speak for Pope Francis, but I think he would love the run for the cannoli, the popular event here in Hazleton. Learn more about it on the Season 2 premiere of Out of Left Field tonight at 8 p.m. More FYI coming your way tomorrow. We'll see you then. Take it easy, everyone.